Hello, friends. Welcome. It's Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC, and creator of www.futurebblacklifecoaches.com. You know, I help train Black women of faith to become certified life coaches online in one day. Absolutely. Yes, it's possible. We have 183 Black women Christian certified life coaches to prove it. If you're here and you want to become a coach, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to pull up something in my inbox so I don't forget when I get off here. Say hello when you come in the room, especially if you're watching live. I'm going to take a minute to share this in our private Facebook group, which you should be a part of if you're not. Facebook, no, they been playing me these last few weeks, honey. They don't want me to share nothing with y'all. They don't want me to tag y'all. They don't tell y'all I'm live. Girl, I don't know how to reach you. So say hey when you come in the room. Let me know where you're watching from. I am trying to find the tag, the link, how to share this. Goodness, this is not good. I don't know what else to do, Facebook. Hello, Redina. How are you? Are you a coach? Are you trying to become a coach? Because I'm going to give you 20 ways for how to afford your life coach certification training. I got some notes here. Say hello. Hey, Zachary. Thank you guys for joining. It's been a minute since I've been on my personal Facebook page. I've been going live in my group. We have an event tomorrow, Saturday, July 30th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in our Facebook group for Future Black Life Coaches. It is our complimentary Christian coaching community. It's over at www.futurebblacklifecoaches.com. So if you want to join us to learn more detailed steps for how to put what I'm about to share with you in my list of 20 ways to afford your life coach certification training, you want to put these tips into action, then come hang out with us tomorrow in our private Facebook group. So tip number one. Well, first, let me preface this by saying, do you guys know about manifestation? I know, we are Christian coaches. We really don't learn much about manifestation, how I've been seeing it taught online. And so I have been able to learn a whole lot about it being in the coaching space because I even have a coach who specializes in manifestation. So what that means is when, I'm going to put it like Oprah put it. She says, I'm a powerful manifester. She says, anytime I think of something, it happens right away. I don't have to have a strategy behind it. So it's kind of like, if you watched The Secret or listened to the book The Secret, then you know a little bit about how it works with the law of attraction, kind of setting your intentions for things to happen. Let me take a minute and find how to post on Facebook. Like, they are really giving me, hello, Sagittarius. I am a Sagittarius. How are you? Okay. I mean, I really do not understand Facebook. I really do not. I don't know if I've lost privileges on here or what, y'all, but lately it has really been tripping on me. So anyway, manifestation is usually when you set your intentions for something and you just kind of give it up to God. You let it go. You let go, let God. That's how we put it in the church realm. And so what that means for me is, let's say you wanted to become a Black woman Christian certified life coach, right? And you call me or you reach out in the inbox and you say, I've been watching your videos. I've been wanting to become a coach. I know now is the time. This is so exciting, but I don't have the money. So I, too, am a powerful manifester. And whatever I tell God I want, whatever I set my mind to, whatever I'm believing God for, He gives me. And so what that means is I combine that with the word of God that tells us where 2 or 3 are gathered together in His name, He shall be in the midst. So if you're coming in believing one thing, which is you want to get certified, and I'm joining my faith with yours, plus the power that I have with just setting my intentions for what I want God to do for you in your life, for what I want Him to do in my life. We're combining our faith. Y'all see my nails? I've been playing with fingernail polish today. They're cute. They make me happy. So, oh, and I got a mood ring on too, so it may change colors. It has shifted. It was blue. Anyway, good evening, Ashley Witcher. How are you? So, manifestation is a big thing because when we're joining our faith, you're setting the intention to get certified. I'm believing God with you. Guess what happens 100% of the time? This list that I'm about to share with you about how to afford your training. But now, when you call me and I join my faith with you, it is a powerful thing. And so you have to know, like God has shown me along my journey, that he put something in you that he could trust. And that's even trust with money. So if you set your intention and set your heart to say, God, I want to get certified. I found the training. I found the coach to do it. I just need the funds. Amen, Ashley. She says, if any to agree, I say yes. So we're joining our faith when you call me or when you reach out in my inbox and you say, I want to do this. I've been wanting to do it a while, but I don't have the money. First, I'm going to show you where money is already in your life. But again, I'm a master manifester. And so I join my faith with yours. And if it's meant to be, if it's God's will, it happens. And it doesn't take God long to do it. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. A day is like 1,000 years to God. All the word, all the strip shows, okay? And so, hey, Janelle Jones. And so I want to give you something to just kind of ponder on, because if you're not big into manifestation, then it may not make a whole lot of sense to you, but you can be big on faith. You can flip this in the word. I feel like most of the stuff that I've seen taught is also in the Bible. So we just have to learn that the God that lives within us gives us that power to make those things, to call those things that are not as though they were. Right? So the first thing on my list, this recently happened to me. So I have a coach for manifestation in my own business. And first thing she makes you do is clean out your purse. She's like, you got some money in there, something in there that you're going to forget you had. I don't know where this thing came from, but I remember just setting it on my kitchen table and I'm like, I'll look into it in a minute. I found a random gift card. I have no idea where this gift card came from. I must have had it a while because I don't remember where it came from. And one day I was just bored. I said, let me call and check the balance. And there was money on a gift card. That is very unlike me, because I don't believe in just leaving random gift cards sitting around because I heard they lose value. So I'm like, let me get my money's worth, right? But stuff like that happens. So you too may have some gift cards laying around, for food. This was a Visa gift card, so it spends like cash. Again, I don't know where it came from. I was thankful for it because it was like a physical manifestation of, I'm like, ooh, I want to go to Starbucks. Here's a random gift card you forgot about. Speaking of Starbucks, some of us have stars sitting in our apps. Dunkin' Donuts sends me free drinks all the time. So little things like that, especially when you're like, I just want something good to happen today. I want some good news. And God is like, here's a free coffee. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go sit in the coffee shop and do some work, right? So gift cards is one way. And again, they could be hundreds of dollars that you forgot was on the gift card. Number 2 are refund checks. A lot of our coaches have been able to come train with me in our one-day Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification self-study system because they got refund checks, whether it was a stimulus or money back from school, any type of refund, like something was owed to you and it usually comes back in the form of a check or automatic deposit. But these things start popping up for future Black life coaches who are believing God with me that they can take the training with me. By the way, we're training tomorrow, 10 a.m. sharp in our Future Black Life Coaches Facebook group over at www.futureblackLifeCoaches.com. You can sign up to join us absolutely free. Come hang out for about 90 minutes. I'm going to dive into this more specifically to show you some of our coaches who have gotten real creative, and they gave me some of these ways that's on this list. I said, I'm going to make a list of 20 things that people can look for that they already have access to afford coach certification if they really wanted it. Number 3 is raises. You're overdue for one. Whether you raise your price in a business that you're already running, whether you ask your boss for a raise. Some people go out and do second jobs. I remember when I was training back in the day, we had a Lyft driver and an Uber driver come through the training. And I watched their journeys on how they afforded the class. And so we would stay in touch and they would keep me posted on them. I'm almost there. I almost hit my goal. They were working and saving their money. They gave themselves a raise. Number 4 is bonus checks. I know some of us, tend to not believe that checks can just randomly show up, but please believe. There have been checks I forgot I was owed until I went to check my P.O. box, or, it randomly came in the mail one day and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I get a refund on this. One specifically I remember was a credit card that I had applied for, and they were like, you're building your credit. It's a secured card. You put a deposit down, you get it back in 6 months. 8 months came. Who knew that they were really going to send my check back? And I was like, oh my goodness. So to see it, and I even got to hang it on my wall now as a reminder, like, good credit, So little stuff like that, deposits that you've made coming back in the form of a bonus check or a refund check because it's owed to you. Tax refunds. People get those early. They get those throughout the year. Some businesses, arrange their taxes quarterly. So there are incentives and things that you can really work out with your accountant to see how to make your money stretch when it comes to what we call continuing education, making sure that you're getting credit for it on your taxes. I don't even want to tell y'all how much I spend on continuing education. I just bought a $2,000 course and didn't even blink and have not gone through it, which is still unlike me. So I got real comfortable with just like, God will re-up that 2K, no problem. And so I share that because there are so many creative ways that we already have access to. Are you guys thinking like, how can I afford life coach certification? Anything clicking just yet? Any ahas or ideas? Let me know in the comments. Number 6 is workman's comp. Now, again, these are things that coaches have called my office, sat on the phone, and talked to me about with how they're going to afford coming to train with me in our one-day Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification Self-Study System. So one lady called and she said, I had an accident at work. I'm on workman's comp medical leave and my check is due. And she said, I want to take a portion of the check and reinvest it in myself and come train with you. What's the process? And I was like, wow, that's the first I've seen of that. So I was like, that is super creative. Why not invest in getting certified in your continuing education while you're on leave at work? You ain't got to go to work in the morning. Might as well learn, train, continue to build your legacy. Number 7 is grants. Oh my gosh, it's such a grant season. It has been since the top of COVID. I've even received some grants. We got some coaches in line for grants. When I do receive grants, I reach back to people like you guys who are wanting to afford our training, and the grant supports that. We just had a grant period a couple days ago. It has passed. It does not happen often, so please don't ask me about scholarships or grants. We do not have any available at the moment, okay? I usually make an announcement when that happens. And so I share that because now there are continuing education grants, there are personal development grants, there are tuition reimbursement grants, there are career transition type grant. So if you say, hey, I can't find a job, I'm thinking of starting a business, you have seed capital, startup funding, incubators and accelerators, fellowship programs. So many people have made funds available to help you take your next step. Yes, even if you're not certified yet. Yes, even if you haven't started a business as a coach yet, you can still apply for grants out there. I found out about a grant today. And so I always pull them up and leave the tab open, go through the requirements, and think of who I know that may qualify for this. Those who I've talked to that can put their name in the hat, literally, and maybe they'll pull your name and you'll get called. Who knows? But every little bit helps. Even if it's 500, couple thousand, you can still apply it towards getting certified. But again, it's about just like when you win the lottery, or when you hear about people winning the lottery, you got to have a plan for where that money is going to go. So if you know God put something within you that he could trust you with money, trust you with the vision he's giving you to become a coach, then you got to do right by the money, because he knows your heart and your intentions as well without you saying anything. Because I've also seen people who have called my office, who have told me they wanted to become a coach, who have joined their faith with mine. God blessed them with all of the money they needed, and they went on vacation, or they bought a car, or they decided to renovate their kitchen. So he has to be able to trust you with the funds. Number 8 are loans. When I say loans, there are people like PayPal who we've partnered with. If you go to blacklifecoachcertification.com and decide you wanted to come train with us, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow during Saturday's training. Tomorrow is Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over at futureblackLifeCoaches.com. When you get to the payment part of our class tomorrow, you get to partner with PayPal as well and apply for their credit. They have a line of credit. And so PayPal and I forget all the names, but it's so many, like Afterpay, Klarna, all this stuff that I'm new to, and I'm trying to find out the information for you guys who need it. Because I remember PayPal helped me pay for one of my first $5,000 programs that I had signed up for, and I applied for their credit. I got $1,000. This was years ago. But to know that they're still out helping entrepreneurs, that's a possibility. So that's what today's loan looks like, if you will. People also have trade lines, like extensions at their bank that they could call and ask for an increase on their credit cards, a higher credit card limit. All of these things have worked. I've seen it personally, and I've heard from our coaches who have come to train with us. Some people have equity in their home, but I know you have to be in your home for a while to have equity in it. For you to take out equity in your home, you have to really believe in yourself that you're going to take the training, you're going to complete the training, and you're going to go and flip that knowledge as far as, I'm going to put this knowledge to use, make the money that I need, put the money back in my house, and keep living my life. But I've seen where not just the home equity is not an option. Some people also, I want to encourage, if you've ever been at a point where you're considering investing in yourself, never give your power or your belief in yourself or your skills or your ability to hustle and go make your money back, never give that over to someone else. So your family, your friends, your loved ones who's saying, girl, that's not a good idea. I don't know about that. Maybe you should think about it this way. Maybe you shouldn't do this, this, and this. Don't let someone else tell you you can't or you shouldn't move forward, because if you decide not to move forward, not to put your faith and your trust in God and in yourself, you're giving that power over to them. And you're joining your faith with theirs to say maybe they're right. And it's always a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you never bet on yourself, of course, they're right. And you've agreed with them about you. So never give anyone that much power over you. I had to throw that in there. Number 11, we talked about it, credit cards. There are all types of credit cards out. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that talk about credit and building business credit. And people do have business credit cards, have bought cars. Of course, people have business credit cards to invest in higher levels as far as masterminds and higher level coaching programs and trainings and certifications, degrees, things like that. So these are all on our list. Number 12 is bank accounts. Some of y'all just straight up balling. Some of y'all are used to seeing commas in your bank accounts daily. It's nothing to you. You're like, I got the money right now. Let me go over to blacklifecoachcertification.com and sign up. Some of y'all waiting on that check. The first is coming very, very soon. Okay, the 1st and the 15th, or today is Friday. Some of y'all ready today. And that's why I wanted to show up outside of our Facebook group. I usually go live in our futurebblacklifecoaches.com Facebook group. That's where we'll be tomorrow. God willing that all technology works correctly. Y'all see me on Facebook. We fight all the time. I hope they get to see this video. They do come and watch my videos to see how I'm using the platform. I'm on their leaders network team as well as one of their end user researchers. So I tell them when stuff is broken, not working, won't let me do this, I don't like this. And we have a whole come to Jesus moment. So I have a call on the book scheduled with them coming up again soon to share what's working and what's not. So we're hoping that Facebook works right, that Zoom works right. We're going to be hanging out over at futurebblacklifecoaches.com. And so come hang out with us, especially if you know you're ready to learn how to become a professionally trained, skilled, qualified, Black woman, Christian, certified life coach, okay? That's 8 things. 8 is the number of completion, right? So you got the credit cards, but you also got the bank account. You got the money there. You're ready to go right now. But also, there's some people who owe you some money. It could be from back in the day. It could be from years ago. I know there's some people that owe me money, thousands of dollars. And I'm just looking forward to knowing that I'm going to be paid soon. Some of y'all need to go ask for your money or work out payment plans like I done. Like, you better put some on it. So some people owe you some money. It's your turn. Some of you have accounts that you've been saving up to treat yourself, to go finally check off your to-do list of, I'm going to get certified. I'm going to invest in myself. And then there's the stimulus checks. Some of y'all still getting, the different what do they call it? Different rounds of stimulus checks, the PPP loan, the IEDL. I don't know nothing about none of that because I ain't getting none of that. However, you never know if you qualify and, like I said, if you have a plan for the funds, it shows God that he can trust you even more. That like, okay, she's going to do right by this money. Number 16 on my list of 20 things that I came up with from the ways that I've seen coaches afford training, the ways I've afforded my trainings, is continuing education or tuition reimbursement. Some jobs have that where if you go to school after hours, 5 to 9 or whatever, after your 9 to 5, they'll reimburse you back for the cost of your continuing education. So life coach certification is considered continuing education because you're pursuing an additional credential. So I would look into the details if you have that type of benefit package at your job. If you're working a 9 to 5, you get, school credit, tuition reimbursement, cashback bonuses, etc. I've been a part of partnerships like that where, I could have the class funded for me, go take notes, and then bring what I learned back to the group. And I loved it because I get to sit and be a nerd. They fed me good. I got to just learn and then come back and teach and share. Yes, please sign me up. So some of you have that as a part of your job, continuing education, tuition reimbursement. Then there's overtime. I was talking to a future Black Life Coach recently. Hello, Rodrika. I love that you found me outside of the group. Hey, girl. And so a future Black Life Coach who told me, Dr. AJ, you got me thinking about becoming a coach. I'm going to start looking into it. And she found this thing at her job. I forgot what they call it. But it's basically like she works overtime, even though she's a salaried person. It's not hourly. But when it gets to a certain point of so many extra hours that she's worked, they reimburse her basically for her time versus just flat out paying her. So she could take a vacation and tell them, I'm going to be out of town this week. And they still pay her back for that time. So I don't speak corporate, but I tried to follow the logic. She gets it. And it's one of the ways that if you have this at your job, you can use to pay for your vacation time and still your continuing education. That's exactly what she's doing. So she has a goal for September, and she's already started working toward her goal. And she told me recently, she went in on a Sunday. And then another day she stayed till like 10 o'clock at night at her job. She's supposed to get off at 5. So her hours are already adding up. So if you have plans for where this money is going to go, I don't see why God wouldn't bring it to you. If he knows that he could trust you and you're going to do right with it, right? Then there are the people who say, I'm just waiting to get paid. I'm waiting. They call it a windfall, but, they're waiting to hear back from lawyers. They're waiting to hear back from settlement offers. All of this is possible. Ashley says, I need to see if my job has any of these types of benefits. You got to look into it because some of them have, like match programs where if you save a certain amount or if you invest a certain amount in your education, they'll match the other part. But the biggest thing the most creative thing, and I didn't even get to put it on this list, there was one of our coaches, and I love her story. We have 183 coaches as of today. So yeah, it's one of our graduating coaches. She made it through today. And she's like sitting there waiting with bated breath on me to send her information. So I'm making her wait. But I love their stories because one of the coaches she talked to in order to complete her certification process was a coach who went through our training in partnership with a housing authority in her city. I love finding creative funds within my local neighborhood, like grants and funding that you didn't even know existed. But the local housing authority wrote a check to me on her behalf and paid one payment flat out. Mail, that was one of the checks in the mail. Then my crazy self, went and put it in my business bank account, totally forgot it was just sitting in there. So when I say, bank accounts that you've forgotten about, listen, I've lived it, okay? And it's a beautiful blessing to discover a couple $1,000s you forgot about, okay? So there are so many unique opportunities to partner when you share your vision for what God has given you to become a coach. There are people who will financially fund you. They will support you because they believe in and with you. Or they may say, I got something on it. Let me tell you another creative thing that I saw. I took a class a couple years ago, and then I ended up working with the teacher of the class. She was a film coach. So she and I just did a documentary project earlier this year where I created my first documentary, self-funded. Woo, woo. So in her class, I remember we did introductions and I was telling people, I train life coaches. This lady followed me after class out to my car and she's like, I really want to be a life coach. I started the journey years ago, but I'm broke, basically, right? And so she got so creative. She said, if I call 20 of my friends and everybody chips in whatever they can, that's how I'm going to get the money. So over time, she and I would check in. How's it going? And she's like, I got $100. And she could not believe that it was working. And I'm like, girl, again, I'm a master manifester. When you join your faith with mine, it works. However, she spent the money on bills. So of course, never seen her again, never heard from her again. She was dodging me. That's between you and Jesus. Again, everybody's not going to do right with this. So do with this what you will. That's between you and Jesus. But I know when I join my faith with yours, if it is in God's will, it'll 100% happen, no doubt. You just have to set your intentions and do right by God. Because if he can, what is the scripture? You be faithful over few, he'll make you ruler over many. So if he can't trust you with $20 here and there that you're reserving for the bigger vision that he gave you, come on, $2,000. How's he going to trust you with someone paying you that much and you doing right with the money? We're going to move on. So tuition reimbursement, overtime, windfall, inheritance. Oh, I don't even want to cry, but I could cry on this one. So my mom passed away at 47 years old. She had a house built from the ground up. When I got the call that she had passed away, I also had to contact her mortgage company. They said, well, you can't leave the home empty. Somebody has to live there. So I moved in. And I told them when I moved in, yeah, I can't afford this. I was coming from being homeless, being evicted, living in a shelter. And I prayed about it one day and I said, God, now this is the powerful manifestation coming out. I said, show me what it feels like to not have to worry about this mortgage. Give me at least a year to get on my feet. Show me what it's like to not have to stress about these bills. Because I told these people I can't afford it. They wouldn't listen. As a matter of fact, the loan officer said, Miss Austin, just trust me. That was God speaking through him. Just trust me. So my prayer for a year turned out to be 10 years later, mortgage free. No mortgage. Out of 10 years, I paid maybe one mortgage. That was before the prayer. 10 years. They had a program called a moratorium where they would put the money on the back burner, anytime that you told them you needed help. 10 years. They were not supposed to give me that long, but God, right? And so when I finally left the home, they mailed me a letter. Now, I was living in my office space at that time, y'all. So I walked to the office mailbox, had a letter from the mortgage company because my mail was forwarded there. And they said, Dear Miss Austin, we want to thank you for allowing us to be your mortgage company. We have decided to forgive your $200,000 in debt. You owe us nothing. And that's literally what was on my credit report. Paid. Nothing due. So y'all see what God could do, because that's 10 years of saving money. 10 years of planning for what's next. But all because I asked God, I put it out there, and he gave it to me. The Bible says, give and it shall be given. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give it to your bosom. Now, let me tell you what I was doing in the meantime. Because I heard a rapper once say, you can't give when you're poor, or you can't help other poor people when you're poor. Absolute lie. Because at that time, I was getting $200 a month in food stamps. I still believed in the principle of tithing. So I would take $20, 10% of that $200, and call a friend who I knew was a single mom with a growing teenage girl. And I said, what does my niece need for snacks for after school? Send me a list. And I would reinvest that $20 of food stamps into my play niece, and that would be my tithe. I'm giving because God has promised to give it back to me. I don't have to be rich to do this. I'm also going to go through my closet because there are clothes and shoes and things I'm not using around my home that someone can use now. I'm still giving. I'm still sewing, even though I was really going through. As a matter of fact, I was eating at food banks at a local church by my house, and a lady was writing a book, and she knew that I had written a book because she had heard me speak at an event in our hometown, although she had just seen me at the food bank. And so to see like what God was still able to do when it didn't look good, right? Hey, Coach Lillian, I was still giving. I still helped this lady with her book, and she gave me boxes of food from the food bank. She was the nicest person to me. Her and several of my neighbors who fed me on holiday. God really looked out for me when I made my request known. So I joined my faith with others, and they also, and I guess I'm not ready to tell all the story because I tear up and I say, when you tear up about your story, you ain't ready to talk about it. But this story is so good, y'all. Because the lady that was over the food bank at the church, every time she would see me, she would say, Miss Austin, this is only temporary. And I just started really, really taking that to heart. That spoke volumes to like, one day this will all be better. Now I'm in a position where I can donate back to that organization, y'all. It makes me cry. Lord, it makes me cry. Tears of joy. Because they really looked out for me, okay? So I share that because you got some people in your life that's been waiting to bless you. And that's a part of your inheritance, your inheritance from heaven. Maybe you didn't have somebody leave you anything. Technically, I didn't either. I had to fight for it, but that's another live that I really ain't ready to talk about. So there are things that God has promised you, stored up for you. You just have to know that He can trust you and that you're going to do right by it. And I knew along the way through my journey that God has allowed me to go through this. He's allowed me to make my request known. He's showing me little bitty glimpses of I got you, daughter, because He put something in me that He can trust. And that's the last part of the list, which is even taking things around the home. I was also known to have yard sales. I would go sell things. And I put it on Facebook. This was years ago, and I put the sale on Facebook. And my first lady emailed me, and she was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you out here doing it. Because I was like, I got something somebody want and they're willing to pay cash for it. I had the best yard sales. Like, people would come and commend me for like, your advertising was great. We followed your signs well. Your stuff is well organized. Like, I really took my journey seriously because I know, like the lady at the church said, this is temporary. So I want to encourage you today that if you're at a place where you know you want to become a professionally trained, skilled Black woman Christian certified life coach, number one, go ahead and sign up to join us over at futurebblacklifecoaches.com. Come on into our complimentary Christian coaching community. Make plans to join us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Coach Lillian will be there, right? It's in your calendar, right, Coach? And we're going to hang out because I'm going to walk you through the steps to becoming a coach and show you more about what it's like to say yes to that journey. Show you, how to put all of this into play because I did a live yesterday. I don't even know where my notes are for that. We'll leave that there. It's in the group. You can come watch the replay from the live in the group. And I talked about how when people come to train with me, they have found their purpose and their calling through coaching. They have found the time to research. They have found me and my training. They have found the money. That's why I wanted to do this, how to find money. Those 20 ways I just gave you for how to afford your life coach certification. And then they find the time to go through and complete the training like Coach Lillian has done, right? Coach Lillian had the honor and privilege to come live and train with me here in Atlanta back in 2016. So I got a little history there, right? All the way from Tupelo, Mississippi. So I'm sharing this because there's so many opportunities for you to tell God, I'm ready, I'm serious, and I'm going to complete this course. Once you get on the other side of the course registration, we have a whole community of coaches waiting to connect with you. We just did a podcast episode earlier today with one of our coaches who now, she did a masterclass. She has her own webinar. She is growing her speaking career. She hired one of my mentors. So I introduce you to my network who helped me get from food banks to over 6 figures in the last few months. And I work very, 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 very part-time. So it's possible. Yes, my situation was temporary. And my goal in life is to never, ever have to go back through anything like what I've been through or anything compared to it or worse than it. I'm believing the same for you. And like I said, when I join my faith with yours, if it's God's will, it 100% happens. But you got to set your intentions too. So how many of you here have set your intentions to become a certified life coach? Because again, I want to invite you to hang out with us tomorrow morning in our Facebook group. We may end up being on Zoom, depending on how Facebook acts. But when you go back through this replay, rewind, write some of this down. Like Ashley says, I'm going to go check in with my job to see which one of these benefits they might have. I need to ask some questions because we don't know what we don't know. And so my job as an educator in this space is to show you the possibilities. And again, all of these came from me. They came from our parts of our 182 coaches. So many more unique opportunities have happened for our coaches to come take the training. And it's not super expensive, especially compared to what's out there. All you have to do is set your intentions and let God know he can trust you to do right with his money. You ain't going to Vegas. Okay. Are there any questions about anything that I've shared? I had soup today, and I think it's coming up in the form of heartburn. So I'm going to go be an old lady, AJ, and take some Tums. Then I'm sitting here drinking pineapple juice. It's good, though. Are there any questions before we go? If you don't have a question, what was your one aha moment or takeaway? I know, this has sparked some ideas, and that's what it's designed to do, because now, subconsciously, while you're sleeping, you're going to start dreaming of stuff. I had a dream I won some money. You're going to wake up with some new ideas, because if you're really serious, the path has been paved for you. So again, futurebblacklifecoaches.com is the place to be to come hang out with me tomorrow morning. I've been prepping for the last several days. So you should have got an inbox invitation from me here on Messenger or something in your email. We got some stuff going on in the group. We got some bonus trainings that have gone out. So we're going to have a great time tomorrow. So make sure you be there on time. We ain't on CP time. We on Moneymaker time, okay? So I'm going to be sharing some goodies with you as we hang out in our training that many of you have been waiting on. Me too, girl. Me too. So I'm looking forward to it. So one aha moment, any ahas that anyone wants to share of our 20 ways to afford your Black Woman Christian Life Coach Certification training. There should be no questions with, I'm going to wait on God someday, one day soon. I just gave you 20 ways, 20 ideas for how to go make that happen, okay? Coach Lillian said her aha and her takeaway is that this was her reminder to invest in herself. You ready to invest, Coach? I am so looking forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow over at futurebblacklifecoaches.com. Again, be on time or early. I was going to do a pre-party, but I was like, no, we'll save that for in the morning. So come early. You'll get a little treat. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out, for engaging with me. I always love that. Replay viewers, let me know you're watching. Podcast listeners, let me know you're listening. YouTubers, let me know that you got to this part of the video. Talk to me in the comments below. I invite all of you to join us over at www.futurebblacklifecoaches.com in our complimentary Christian coaching community, where our training is taking place tomorrow, Saturday, July 30th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be together for about 90 minutes, learning all the steps to becoming a professionally trained, skilled Black woman Christian certified life coach. That's all I got for you guys today. Go back and watch the replay. I'll tell you what I just told you. And until we meet again, my friends, remember, there's someone somewhere and they are waiting on you to walk in your destiny so they can walk into theirs. Because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. And when you impact just one life as a Black woman Christian certified life coach, you impact generations. If you are really ready to impact generations, you have at least started one of these things from this list, and you are now over at futurebblacklifecoaches.com on the RSVP list for our event taking place tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will see you guys there. Again, I am Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC. I'll see y'all in our Future Black Life Coaches Facebook group. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. God bless. Bye, Future Black Life Coaches.